Okay, in this video, same attack, rear bear hug, but this time you're going to make the mistake of raising up your elbows without grabbing onto the hands, and then this is going to transition into a side headlock. So now we're going to show you how to get out of that. So we're going to move from a rear bear hug position attack to moving into a side headlock defense. So we're going to show you basically how to get out of that technique. So from here, he goes with the bear hug. I'm not going to grab, so I'm going to, most people under panic is probably, they're going to try to struggle. As that happens, Frank goes right into the side headlock immediately. From there, you can't, he's going to put you in the side headlock, so that's going to be different than a rear naked. So he's going to turn your body into this, carry that momentum forward. So now you're behind him. From here, push down on the top of his knee. He can be strong with this. Go ahead, be strong. So if he's strong with it, right on the top of his knee, you start to push that in. Once you have that down, see how he let go? Realistically, he's probably not going to let go, and he's going to drag me down with him. So as that happens, I'm going to go down the ground with him. As I'm on the ground, I want to be able to get my arm behind his head. Okay, so if you come around here, you see this. The arm goes behind his head. Now, if you can grab onto this, you can grab onto that and apply pressure. If you can't grab onto this, you're going to squeeze this. Now you're going to use your thumb. Okay, so come around this way, Nick. From here, you're going to dig his thumb into the side of his neck. There's a pressure point. There's 2 pressure points here, and there's 2 pressure points on the front, so you can apply this right there. Okay, it's going to cause excruciating pain to him. Or you can squeeze on this, the one in front. You can squeeze on that. You can use your index finger to do this. Okay, you can clearly see on Frank's face that this is uncomfortable for him. You don't release this arm at all. You squeeze this the whole time. He almost isn't going to feel this. In my body, you okay? I'm putting pressure from my body on the side of his rib cage, so I'm actually constricting his breathing on top of it. Okay, so this isn't just I'm laying on top, oh Frank, good Frank. I'm actually restricting his breathing. So as I'm pushing pressure on that, then I start applying the neck technique from there. Then I can strike whatever, but I want to pull his jaw back and throat punch him. Boom, throat punch him. And if you had to, if this hand's still here holding on, you throat punch him and you can lift this up right there to break his elbow or to basically lock him at that point. Then you can start hammer fisting his ribs. You can hammer fist his groin if you wanted. Or you can just completely just lift this up to the point where you break his elbow. If he's if not really compliant, but if you get him to move, you get him to move over this way as well. And you can lock this out and break his elbow that way. A little bit more complicated, but these are things that obviously you want to be able to transition to as you go down the road with your training. Always look for those options to where you can advance the technique into something else if you needed to. Don't get caught in a position where you're stuck and you don't know what else to do at that point. Combative Concepts is a system where you can flow from one technique to the next using body leverage, anatomically being able to use your partner, your attacker to your advantage too. So you always want to keep those options open when you're doing these techniques. Don't be sold on just one thing and go, okay, that goes right into my encyclopedia of bear hugs from behind and then a side chokehold, and then you master that technique, because the majority of the time, a lot of these techniques aren't going to go as planned. So we're showing you things on what you can do, but the options are what you really want to sit there and study and perfect. Because if plan A doesn't work, you always need to have a plan B. There's a famous quote that's been going around a lot lately that Mike Tyson said, everybody has a plan until they get hit. Then the plan changes, or you get knocked out, one of the two. So whatever, strategically, what you have going on with your training, you want to look at your options all the time when you're doing this. We're giving you a platform of what you can do from a particular technique, but you also want to keep in mind of what other options there are within that technique. And that's just not this one, it's everything that I'm teaching you guys. Always look for that window of opportunity to get out of the problem that you're in, because you're going to come across people that aren't going to let you get out of it. So you're going to have to find ways. Okay, so let's do this again. So as he comes in, he grabs. I missed this. So now I'm going to try to wiggle out. He puts me in a choke, steps in front of me. At that point, okay, I have to do something. Okay, so I'm going to push on the top of his knee. He's going to take me down to the ground. As I go down to the ground, This hand is gonna go right behind his neck. Notice how he's still holding on. What if he doesn't hold on and he slaps this down? Now you have a tighter grip. Then from there, you can interlock the fingers. I always do the thumb through the middle and index finger, and I squeeze this, and then I pull this in. Now my shoulder is actually cranking on his jaw, if you see that. Here's my shoulder. Comes right onto his jaw, and it cranks onto his jaw, so now you got a jaw lock. That's another option. I was just talking about that, right? So from here, you're gonna wanna lift this up, and then you get that thumb lock right into his neck. Then from there, you peel off his throat, or expose his throat by this is also something else that we didn't talk about. Two things. Make sure your hands are clean. This is extremely disgusting, sticking your hand in someone's face. So if you're scratching your balls before you train, think you're going to be putting your hand in someone's mouth with this technique. So respect your partners. Always wash your hands. Have good hygiene when you're doing stuff like this. So as you cover him, you're grabbing his jaw. Another thing that you're doing, which we didn't discuss, is you're awful muffling him from yelling. This is the fucker that attacked you. He might turn around and start screaming for help because you're kicking the shit out of him. Cover his mouth so he can't do it. Then throat punch him. Boom! Throat punch him, and then you can go in the other options that I showed in the previous technique of this demonstration. So one more time from this. As he grabs, you didn't grab on, you lift up, headlock right away. Move into this position, down he goes. If he happens to hold on, you can still do it. Go ahead, hold on. If he happens to hold on, you got it? You can interlock this and squeeze. You can still get this technique. Go right over the top of his mouth, throat punch. Now my legs ended up in a different position. We were talking about that. Nothing ever goes as planned, right? Once you're here, Frank has any jiu-jitsu experience, he's gonna lock my leg right into this. Now I'm gonna have a hard time escaping. How am I gonna get out of that if I'm trying to escape? I'm not gonna be able to. So you have to figure out how to do that. If his hand comes into your face, roll this over at that point. You okay? You can roll this over at that point. That's gonna change up this. Elbow, right away. Smash on the elbow. So you elbow his ribs, you smash on his elbow. You can actually take this and go right across your arm with that. Move over, ta-da! Now you have a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu arm lock at that point. Then start heel striking his sternum or his abdomen. See how there's multiple options? So I just threw some Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu into the technique. So I think that's pretty much enough for you guys to sit there and watch, figure it out. You're probably gonna watch this video 5-6 times just to see what we did with the options. So that's it for this one. We're on to the next one.